warns Iran has 48 hours to make a deal or open the Hormuz Strait. Trump threatens to rain down military force on Iran. Meantime, the U.S. Air crew member is unknown. 2 crew members were on board the F-15 jet when it was shot down over central Iran. Only one of them was rescued after ejecting from the aircraft.
And with that, let's go now to Trey Yingst back in Tel Aviv, where he has the latest. And Trey, we understand you have brand new reporting from the White House. What can you tell us?
Yeah, guys, good morning. I just spoke with President Trump for 15 minutes. He gave me some new details on the negotiations behind the scenes with the Iranians and what's going to happen if Iran does not make a good faith deal. The president tells me if they don't make a deal and fast, I'm considering blowing everything up and taking over the oil. The president went on to say you're going to see bridges and power plants dropping all over their country. Now, I asked him about the possibility of an agreement with the Iranians. He says those who are negotiating on behalf of Iran have been granted amnesty at this time so they can continue the talks. And the president tells me he thinks he'll be able to get a deal by tomorrow. He says, I think there's a good chance tomorrow. They're negotiating now. All of this following the president's post on Truth Social, where he talked about these negotiations with the Iranians. We'll pull this up. He says, quote, Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day, all wrapped up in one. In Iran, there will be nothing like it. Open the effing strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. The president posting there on Truth Social about this ongoing operation and his new red line for the Iranian regime. Now, the president also provided new details on what happened earlier this year as the Iranian regime took to the streets and slaughtered what the president tells me is 45,000 civilians in their own country. After that took place, President Trump told me the United States sent guns to the Iranian protesters. He tells me we sent them a lot of guns. We sent them through the Kurds, and the president says he thinks the Kurds kept them. He went on to say we sent guns to the protesters, a lot of them. And so a number of headlines here from my conversation with President Trump. All of this taking place more than a month into Operation Epic Fury and in the aftermath of that successful U.S. operation overnight to rescue that stranded U.S. service member inside Iranian territory. The president himself ordering that operation after the CIA came on Saturday morning and confirmed that they located where this crew member of an F-15 that was shot down on Friday was located. Again, the president making that decision to send in hundreds of U.S. special forces deep into Iranian territory and successfully retrieving that U.S. service member. Guys?
I want to make sure I got this correctly. Are you saying that the president told you that he sent guns, the U.S. government sent guns to the protesters via the Kurdish, but the Kurdish kept some of the guns?
Correct. The president tells me that the United States sent guns to the Iranian protesters earlier this year. He says we sent them a lot of guns. We sent them through the Kurds, and he thinks that the Kurds kept them. Remember, the president made a commitment to the Iranian protesters who were in the streets of their country earlier this year. Those images were circulating online of thousands of people who were slaughtered at the hands of the Iranian regime, the current regime that is attacking U.S. forces as we speak. And the president made a commitment on Truth Social to those protesters, and he said help is on the way. And we are learning as a result of this call with President Trump that he attempted to send guns to these protesters in order to fight back and defend them. Remember, these were peaceful demonstrators who were protesting against their government, and they were met with live ammunition from the Iranian regime in the streets of their country. They were slaughtered. And Fox News was talking to people in Iran who were using Starlink, and they were describing these horrific scenes in the streets of their country. And the president, again, told them that support and help was on the way. And so it appears that was the help the president was talking about. And again, as all of this is taking place, now that we zoom out 3 months later, the president is offering the Iranians a diplomatic solution to end this conflict. The same offer that he gave the Iranians before Operation Epic Fury began.
Exactly.
And remember, we know that at the negotiating table before this operation began, the opening position of the Iranian regime is that we have 460 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium, enough to make 11 nuclear bombs. And the president, understanding the country's ballistic missile program and their nuclear aspirations, ultimately ordered this operation. Well, more than 35 days later, the president once again is offering the Iranians a diplomatic solution. And again, he tells Fox News in a phone call earlier today, he thinks he'll be able to get a deal with Iran by tomorrow. He says he thinks there's a good chance tomorrow. They are negotiating now. But again, the president goes on to tell me you're going to see bridges and power plants dropping all over their country if they're unwilling to make a deal.
So incredible reporting.
Now we begin with the latest on the war in Iran, as leaders on both sides continue to escalate their violent rhetoric, making increasingly threatening comments.
All of this comes as the U.S. military continues to search for a missing airman tonight after an American fighter jet was shot down in the western part of Iran yesterday. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pulliam is here in the studio with some of the latest developments. Tim.
Guys, the U.S. military is urgently searching for the U.S. air crew member, and some defense experts are stressing just how dangerous this search is right now. This comes just as President Trump warns Iran has 48 hours to make a deal or open the Hormuz Strait. Trump threatens to rain down military force on Iran. Meantime, the U.S. air crew member is unknown. 2 crew members were on board the F-15 jet when it was shot down over central Iran. Only one of them was rescued after ejecting from the aircraft.
The longer that the pilot is on the ground, the more precarious this situation is. Once you lose a plane, you then have to start a very intense effort to find that individual. That involves low and slow helicopters, not terribly difficult to fire at them.
During the search and rescue mission, another U.S. aircraft was hit by Iran. The jet crashed in Kuwait, and the pilot was rescued. 2 Black Hawk helicopters involved in the mission were struck. Some crew members were injured but were able to return safely to their base. Before this happened, the president claimed Iran's regime could no longer shoot down U.S. aircraft. But now that's uncertain. Closer to home, there's a vigil tonight in Santa Monica where the community will honor 6 political activists in Iran who were executed by the Iranian regime. It starts at 6:30. Tim Pulliam, ABC 7, Eyewitness News.